Okay. If you get too bored with this part, if you're still watching, skip to the end and see whatever it is I end up making, if I make anything. Again, push them along it, you know, don't just take your little bevels pulling down. Wedge it backwards and lever into it. Make sure your platforms are low enough to let you do that when you're working on a rubber pad with no support. And I will frequently push in from the ends, flat, thinning and creating hinges, and then I'll cut them off from the side, cut the hinges off. Do that a lot. When you go to take your flakes, push hard. You know, get it set up right, but then go for it. Gotta overlap them in the middle. Want to thin more. I'm pushing just on the end. I'm holding it up against the pad. I'm holding it strong there and just pushing hard. And because I have little width to lose, I'm being very opportunistic. I'm going around, I'm looking only for low platforms. You gotta be low so that I can drive flakes. See, none of this stuff is low to this side, so I'm skipping all of this till I turn it. This is silly. I mean, it would be one thing if this was going to be an attractive toothpick, but it's not. It's an ugly toothpick. Might not even be a straight toothpick. Yeah, we may have to go crazy with, we may have to take the risk of hinging everything and switch to leather. I need to do better leather. I haven't been showing you all really good leather. I need to set me up kind of like a slightly notched leather, slightly notched. A thinner thing and slightly notched to where I can control better how much run I get. Because with this setup, sometimes you get accidental short runs or accidental long runs. But if you notice, it looks like I'm pulling into the leather, and I am, but I'm letting the thing bounce off the leather, and it's kind of like a kinetic flaking where I'm pushing in hard and then pulling into the leather, and it falls down into the leather, and then it releases, and it's popping up off the leather as it's running, and so it's like a peeling initiation as this flips outward. And I mean, look how much thinning that did, and how, I don't know if you can see it, but that did a bunch. The reason I switched to leather really was this flake right here. Real thick. Hang on, where are you? Okay, it's real thick there. This thing is up at the center line. I don't want to turn it more and lose more width, but I want to try and do some good there. So I'm going to put that on the heel of my hand and push in pretty hard and push really hard on the, what is she? And as you can tell, it undercut a fair amount of that hump, and it ran almost all the way across. So that was the result that I wanted. I couldn't have gotten a much better result. That's about as good as it gets for that. I'm going to raise this a tiny bit because it's rolled a little bit downward. And then relower it, and I'm going to try and do more of that same crap before I do. I'm going to come from this side to undercut that little hinge and then come back, and I'm still have the goal here of putting the most thinning with the least number of flakes. See? I mean, we're doing a lot of thinning there. And again, we're thinning from the center line. I'm actually above the center line. If you look at it like this, I'm a slight bit above the center line, and yet I'm trying to thin this, which isn't possible without redirecting the force. So watch. You can see that ran to there, which is past the center line. Try another one. And that ran to there, which is well past the center line. And it's flattening more. And it's just valuable. It's just valuable to be able to do that without moving your edges too much. Just when especially when you start, even if you're using regular kind of work and not doing crazy crap like this, you get down and you're almost to your finished point, and then you have a bad flake or something that leaves a high spot, and you want to attack it from the other side, but you really don't want to lose any more width because you've already lost as much as you want to lose. Well, you can try and do tricks like this to conserve your edge and not use too much of it. Get a better than normal result. Right here, that long flake. Get a better than normal result with almost no edge losses. And you don't need to do it all the time, and you don't want to do it all the time. Okay, right there, oh dang, you didn't see it. Right there, I'm going like this. I'm putting a bevel on that without flaking it off, so I'm not losing width. Running these things across. This ain't focusing, is it? Darn thing. See? So I mean, look. it's getting regularized. It's fairly even in thickness. The edges aren't straight, but it's coming down, and I haven't lost that much width. I am boiling. When you flake like this on unnotched leather, once your convexity starts to get kind of optimal on the biface or on the preform, you have to be careful because you will blast the other side off. Even with tough rock, I overshot a couple of shots on that Curly's Ridge I was showing you the other day. You might ask yourself, why do I use dull tips? I do it to get the power, and I do it to get less coppery looking flakes. But when I say the power, you know, the duller the tip, the more load you have to put on it. It's on a bigger area, so you got to put more load on it to make the flake go. So sometimes I like that. I want the flake to go later under greater load than if I used a sharper point, but it also doesn't have as big a bulbs or whatever. Oh yeah. This is gonna be the coolest what should I do? What kind of drill? I think I'm stopping. It doesn't make sense to keep showing you more of this tediousness. I'm just going to go ahead and turn this off and get where I can move better here. Turn a little bit, I feel all cramped. And finish this up as something, and I'll attach a picture or something. Bye! Thanks for watching if you did. Breeze crack.